one slowed down sounds like this. So the first half of that starts at the 9th fret on the G, slide up there, and then you're going to use the 11th, 12th, and the 7th, all on the G string. So it goes 9 to 11, 12, back down, and then hammer on, pull off 9 to the 11th, slide down to the 7, and then hammer on to the 9th and hit the 7 again. And you can use pinch harmonics on this. It sounds great that way. You can slide that note if you want, get all George Lynchy and, you know, all that stuff if you want to. Second half of this is sounds like this. So that's 12th on the D, 12th on the G, 10th on the B, 12th on the B, 13th on the B. Just those notes. And it's going to be like this. You can slide that, you can hammer on, pull off. You can even end down on the 8th if you want to. I like to hit the 12th on the G string because it's easier to give it that kind of wild vibe. So the whole part together sounds like this. Before I get into part 2, there's harmonized guitars in this solo in part 1 and part 4, and I'm not going to get into that. I didn't learn them, frankly, and I've just been using the backing track, and I think it's the only backing track on YouTube, and I will link it below. Really good backing track because it has those harmonized guitars in it. If you want to learn them, learn it directly from that because they're very easy to hear in that. Take what I'm going to show you with all of these, and I think you can figure out the harmonies from it based on the backing track and how this part is played. So let's get into part 2. Part 2 starts out with a bend on the B string at the 15th fret, and it's a whole step bend. Basically just a direct hit, maybe a little bit of vibe, but you can just hit it, or you can just slide up to the 17th directly. Give it some vibe, whatever, it all works. And the next lick is this one. Okay, so this is all E minor scale, and every note of the E minor on the first string to the 4th string. So on the first, it's 20, 19, 17. Same on the B, 20, 19, 17. And then 19, 17, 16 on the D and the G. Those are all the notes. All of them are used for this lick. So this starts out using those notes, and we're going to basically be doing climbing, doing some patterns going back down, but those are the notes, so just stick on those. Starts on the 17th fret of the B, and you're going to climb that scale up to the 19th fret on the E. So and then you're going to go back to the 20th on the B and climb up to the 20th on the E. So and then from there we're going to do patterns of 4 going back down. So starting at the 20th, you're going to do 4 notes down. Then go to the 19th and do 4 down again. Go to the 17th, do 4 down again. So up till that point we have and then we're going to do 19, 17 on the B and the G string. So up till that point we have this. And then the next part of this is all on the G and the D string. The notes after that go to the 16, 19, 16, 17. And then 19 on the D, and then 16 on the G. So and then it ends with 19, 16, 17 on the G. 19, 16, 17. So I'm going to play this again really slowly. First, the second half really slowly. So up till that point we have. So altogether, this part is that was a funny note. Part 3 is going to get real George Lynchy. String skipping, crazy fast hammer-on pull-offs. It's all based in E minor pentatonic and the 12th position, so familiar position to most people. So it starts out with a hammer-on pull-off from the 12th to the 14th on the G, and you hit the 12th, do the hammer-on pull-off, and then hit the 12th again and do it again. So then it bends up on the 15th on the B string, and then we have this lick. So that's 15 bend up, and then on the first, 12, 15 on the B, 12 on the B, bend up on the 15th. And then do the same pattern, except instead of going to the bend on the 15th, do a bend on the 14th on the G. So you have, and then drop it and do 12, 14 on the G. So up till that point we have. And here we go. We're going to do a hammer-on pull-off from the 12th to the 14th and back to the 12th. Skip a string, 14th on the E, do that hammer-on pull-off again. Go to the 15th. Whatever finger position works for you. I find that since after this you go back to a bend, I try and do this with my first and third on that, and then pinky the high note. Then after that happens, you do a 12, 14 on the G, so bend up on the 14th. So far, I know this is a lot of notes, but I'm going to play this real slowly. And then it ends with, which is 12, 14, hammer and pull off. Slide down to the 10, and then the 12. So we have. Very strange, but those are the notes. Listen to it and you'll kind of hear those notes. But it does sound kind of chaotic, so it will take some practice to hit them roughly in the right spot. And it's very quick, but you can do it a little bit slower. There's some pauses in there. So if you have to do it a little bit slower, you can still do it and be ready for the next part. Okay, part 4 starts out with what I think is the most memorable lick in the solo. I don't think I had heard this song since the late 80s, and someone requested it. I listened to it, and it was instantly, by this lick, I remembered it. It's this one. Cool lick with the chords that are behind it. The notes for this are the 14th on the D and the 12th on the G, and those stay consistent during this whole lick. The only difference is you're going up to the 16th or to the 18th, and the 18th is a bit of a stretch, so you're just going up those notes. And the first one's paused a little bit, so if you're going along with it, it has a little bit of a pause. And the way that I pick that is I do up on the D and then down up on the G, and then back to up. So it's essentially kind of economy picking, moving up the strings. As a side note, the way that I typically hold the pick, and this is in play, and this is totally different for every player, is it's so much easier for me to economy pick going from high strings to low strings. When some people, it's the opposite. They find it very easy to economy pick going from low strings up to the high. I find it, because of the way I hold the pick, often going like this. There's some videos online kind of explaining this, and you can definitely practice and get better at both, but I do find that it's going to be easier one way or the other for you. You could pick this, for example, doing economy picking up. So down, down, up. So you're kind of sweeping down for those first two. And then when you're moving back up to start again, you're hitting that on the way up. So that may be comfortable for you. For me, I stumble over that all the time. It's actually an area I've been working on a little bit to get better, but it is not natural to me at all. You could do this section 3 different ways. You could economy pick it in that direction. You could do it the way that I feel comfortable, which is an upstroke and then down up. Or you could alternate pick it. Okay, so after you've kind of figured out which of those ways feels best for you, and you'll know because you'll be faster at one versus the other, more than likely, you're going to bend up on the 13th on the B, and it's going to sound like this. So again, this is just straight E minor. So bending up from the 13th. Then you do a hammer on pull off from the 13th to 15th, and then pull off to the 12th. And then 14, 12 on the G. Bend up on the 14th. And then hammer on pull off from the 12th to the 14th, slide down to the 11. and it ends on the 12th. And that 11, you can hit it 2 or 3 times. So it'd be like... And that's part 4.